Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Main Street Universe Radio Network. Today, I'm doing a brief podcast about natural medicine. I'm going to talk about two plants that are near and dear to my heart because, well, one of them's good for the heart, and I guess synergistically they both are. And it's going to be carrots, and then I'll move on to ginger. So, again, I want to let everybody know that Main Street Universe is making a comeback. We're slowly looking at different mediums, different pathways for which to express, including soon I'll have my interview with King's X, which will be done in a professional recording studio. So the band King's X from the 90s loved the song Summerland, and of course they did so much more beyond that. That was the one that was a bit of a hit, kind of a ballad. I really liked it. Anyhow, back to what we're doing, and our associate producer Janice R. White will be joining me soon as well for some of these episodes. I'll piece together them, pre-record them, and once I get a new place established here in my new home in the mountains, Hagerstown, Maryland, I will establish a live presence again. To be honest, I miss a little bit of the live buzz that happens with a live episode, to where you can't stop and pause and listen to yourself and see what it sounds like, and you pretty much got to wing it. So if you discovered right in the moment that you don't know what you're talking about, and if the audience doesn't know whether or not you know, well, now they know. Anyhow, here we go. Let's start with carrots. Carrots are actually good for the heart. They have pectin, a type of fiber that exists in carrots, and it binds up the clogging in arteries, the cholesterol. Now, I understand there's a lot of research around cholesterol that's changing how we think about it, but for now, let's just go with the fact that it's good for taking care of this, perhaps the negative cholesterol, thus helping to improve heart health and helping to prevent heart attacks. So letting it flow, anytime you have a conduit that's flowing naturally, it's always a good thing. So I also believe that hawthorn is good for the heart. We talked about that when I did the show with Susan Weed, Green Magic, Green Medicine. And maybe I'll contact her as I march through this comeback. So anyway, another thing carrots are known to be good for. This is going to be a brief podcast, just to let you all know, maybe not much more than 15-20 minutes. Carrots are good for a sore throat. A carrot, yeah, that's right, a carrot neck wrap can help you recover more quickly from a sore throat. To make one, grate a carrot into a length of a cheesecloth, fold the cloth in half, and then moisten it with some warm water, and then wrap it around the neck. Wrap a warm towel on top and keep it on for 20 to 30 minutes. And I'm sure there's different variations you can do this. Maybe some people take a version and rub it on their neck, maybe making something out of it. But right now we'll go with that. Now here's one that I didn't know about. The first two I was aware of course, and the beta carotene aspect, which we will discuss in a minute. But this one, a blocked milk duct. So this one was with a little extra research that I did, folks. And this one I didn't know. If your breast is inflamed because of a blocked duct, again, it's good at cleaning out pipes, it seems like. And a poultice made by grating a carrot into some cheesecloth, again, and moistening it. Place it on the breast all the way up to the armpit. So make sure it's good and covered. Cover with a hot water bottle. So if you have one of those hot water bottles, if not, you can make one out of something or find some way maybe to warm it, and leave it on for 1 hour. Apply a fresh poultice every time you feel this coming on, or you feel the real inflammation of it comes on, and it's meant to help clear away this inflammation by letting it flow. And If you have a fever or flu-like symptoms, then maybe see your doctor if it's something else, because other things can uh, have a worse infection. And of course, with everything I say, doing a natural medicine podcast here, be sure to make sure you consult a doctor if something looks in any way controversial to you. Of course, I have to say that. Carrots are relatively harmless, I would think, but it is just the nature of things that some people are allergic to something and some are not. Like there are certain things that work for some person in the natural medicine world, just like the allopathic medicine world, that won't work for someone else. And that someone else might have a terrible allergy to it. So it's good if you can do as much research as you can. Here's one. It's high blood sugar. Chewy, high fiber foods such as carrots, um, they help you slow down your intake of calories. For one thing, you have to chew it for a while, so there's a physical component. But they also enter your bloodstream slowly, preventing your blood sugar from spiking. So they help to stop that blood sugar spike. Of course, now what many people have heard in the natural medicine world about carrots is vision problems. Yes, carrots are really good for your eyes, and so are other orange and yellow vegetables or fruits. I remember the prophet Edgar Casey mentioning eat things that are yellow and orange. And I think even people born in my birth time around Aquarius, it's supposed to be particularly true, pineapples being one. Anyhow, they're rich sources of beta carotene, the plant based building block of vitamin a nutrient your eyes will soak in like candy. And I need to get more into using carrots in smoothies and juicing. I admit I've been slacking a little bit with my new sort of more aggressive work schedule. So add some carrots to your menu and plenty of greens. And like I said, if some of these foods you don't like as much as far as eating, make maybe a smoothie out of them. Then the fibers are there. To me, a smoothie is better than a juicer, because you put it in a blender, it takes less, but you get more because you get more of the fibers. A good example is that so many things, potatoes are a classic example. I love dirty mashed potatoes, right? Ones where the skin is still on, because so much of the nutrients is actually in the skin. So again, with the beta carotene effect, you have, it's good for the skin. It's good for weak fingernails, all those things. And also, carrots are good for memory. Estrogen mops up oxygen damage to brain cells caused by free radical molecules. Now, the suggestion is turning to plant estrogens that do double duty as natural antioxidants. So having a natural way to combat oxidation damage, if I said that properly. People with high levels of antioxidants tend to score better on memory tests. And of course, many of us would have maybe assumed that. But anyway, so carrots are good for everything up to heart, to memory, and to one that caught me a little bit by surprise, the breast duct clogging. And again, if it's a more serious clog, it can be based on infection. Now we're going to go to one that is near and dear to my heart, because it's one I've used a long time, and that's ginger. In my good habits, it's one I've done a long time, and that one is ginger. Ginger, which is a rhizome root, we're word playing now. Technically it's a rhizome, but ginger is great for digestion. And when I make a strong ginger tea, and I talked one time to a Chinese natural medicine practitioner in Fairfax, Virginia, I won't say his name, and he said when he can't figure out what else is going on, he will go ahead and just make a very, very strong ginger tea. A woman years ago in Barbados is where she was from. I say in, but that's where she was from. She told me to make the strong ginger tea, chop it up, bang it up, break up the pieces of ginger that you chop up, boil it in the water. Don't just steep it. The problem is Western ginger teas are sometimes they're not boiled in with the water. That's when it really extracts. And then after it comes to a boil, hear me now, let it simmer, very low simmer. And then let that simmer just steep for about, meaning take the rest of the heat off. Keep it covered the whole time, by the way. Even though if you lift up the lid, it'll smell amazing. Ginger has a fantastic smell when you do this. Go ahead and let it steep like that. Let it just be in the hot, lowly simmering water for about 20 minutes to a half hour. You almost can't do it too long. And it'll turn dark brown. It's truly medicine at that point, and it'll take care of a lot of things. It's good for the immune system. It's good for so much. It's one of my go-tos. So it'll help with digestion, which helps with so many other things, including headaches. There's a lot about ginger and headaches, and even to smell ginger that's been put into a food processor or has been chopped up, it gives off an amazing smell. Almost helps your mood a little bit. I don't know if you've ever put ginger into a juicer and zip, amazing smell. It cleans all the air in the room. So it's also good for anti-inflammatory qualities. Now, many people know the recipe I just described is also good when combined with some fresh ground or fresh cut. I guess either way, turmeric. And then the anti-inflammatory qualities kick in, and it just at that point, it on a regular basis, I'm telling you, you will start to feel good. It's also good for athlete's foot. Now, this one was one when I was doing a little homework on it. What I've told you thus far is what I already naturally do. This one with athlete's foot, that if you make the really strong ginger tea, since it is so antifungal, that you can just literally physically put some on athlete's foot and it helps to take it away. And I utterly believe it will. Stuffy nose, again, it just has that great fresh thing as soon as you put it into a blender or juicer or just cut it. And here's another one is for the cold. And I've had many old school natural medicine practitioners tell me this one, to just eat fresh raw ginger, people from India and from elsewhere, into yourself, just literally just cutting a piece of ginger and eating it helps you stay warm. Now, they also say, wiggling your fingers and running through warm water. I've done this, and it's not a good idea. And some people even recommend putting the tea on your fingers like that. That's okay, but man, it can really hurt when they warm up. So I recommend you do more of a prep, more of a ahead of time thing. And since it's also good for digestion, it's also good as something that really helps. Again, the same thing, that same ginger tea I talked about, fine if it has the turmeric. The taste of the ginger will take it over. And it's good for nausea, real good for nausea. And that's one I've used personally. It's good for helping to lose weight because, again, anything that's good for digestion is good for that. There are people that say it's good for angina, and that's one I have a little less history on or research on. But it does contain chemical compounds that lower cholesterol. So again, we're back to something that's pretty good against cholesterol. So carrots. So again, apple, carrot, ginger, two things good at clearing up the veins. And so they would in turn be good for the heart. And you see how this all works together, and it has anti-cancer qualities, and it's real. Because I'm telling you, when I'm in the regular habit of doing the strong ginger tea, which is one of my personal old school long-term remedies, again, when I'm in my good behaviors and and life is going well and I have my natural medicine cabinet, the strong ginger tea is even if it's not daily, but it's a regular part of the routine. My name is Daniel Michael. I'm the founder, co-creator of the Main Street Universe Radio Network, and today we've been discussing natural medicine and carrots and ginger. So thank you all for joining us. It's been my pleasure to be out here broadcasting again. I am at the Washington County Public Library. So thank you for them for allowing me the room, because where I live right now, I got roommates and I can't get I can't get a quiet room. So remember that Main Street Universe is the show and network reminding you that the mysteries and possibilities of the universe are closer to Main Street than you may have ever imagined. Thank you all so much.